Microphone check, 1, 2. Yes, 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 yes. Greetings, family. Welcome to Monday Quality Talks number 17. I hope that you're all well. No sound. How come? You're not hearing me? That's very strange. Ah. That's right. Sorry. Welcome, family. This is Quarantine Grooves. You see? It threw me off my curve. This is Monday Quality Talks, family, number 17. Not quite the same thing. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope that y'all well. And thank you, Master Electronic, for letting me know about the sound. I had just said to turn a button, but I didn't prior to the live. Emmanuel Etienne, what's going on? Oh, my mother is here. Merci, maman. Thank you very much. I love you. Man, beautiful energy. How are y'all doing? I hope well. Let me do a little quick thing here because I feel like the light on my face is a bit too pinkish. What's happening, family? MQT17. Can you guys hear me well? Is there any more issues? I hope not. I believe everything should be flowing. Wow. How has your weekend been so far? We just started the week, and I hope that you managed to get some rest and take some time for yourself. Please make yourself comfortable. Just going to take about an hour of your time and talking upon something that feels quite important to touch on, really, especially given the context we're in right now. Long term. Why did I call today's show long term? Simply because, I've always been taught that anything that's meant to last the test of time is built on the long term, right? And anything that you want to see prosper needs to go through the process of shaping you into being the future self that you see yourself to be. But you see, the funny thing is that society, and especially in this case family, seem to not necessarily have the patience or the vision that you have for yourself. And for me, what really inspired this conversation is the fact that I always kind of had to justify myself or explain the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why am I so patient? Why am I so, some may say passive, because I would not necessarily act on things the way they wanted me to act. But as I would always say, and I will always repeat it and say, you know what, it's fine. I don't always have the explanation. I just know, and I just have faith. DJ Respect Africa, thank you very much. Ubuntu to you as well, my king. Hope that y'all well. Queens and kings, thank you very much for tuning in for this talk. Look, man, any one of us has probably gone through this kind of challenge where, you feel like, yo, the odds are against you, family is against you, or not necessarily against you, but there's just pressure from all corners. and there's one particular pressure that is leading people to break and to really fall apart, I would say, sometimes if they're not strong enough. It's the one of family, man. Dalia, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you. Welcome. What have you experienced when it comes to that? You know, what kind of pressure have you experienced as a creative or whatnot? You know, trying to do something and then everyone else is kind of like, you know, throwing shots at you, and telling you that, you know, you should do something else. And yet, you know, you're told that you've got to build things on the long term, for a long-term perspective. I understand that some people cannot deal with it. I understand that some people don't have the capacity to really appreciate that the process is really what brings the results that you want to see happening, and that you really want to allow that process to, again, as I said in the beginning, shape you. Because, and I've said that last week as well, but I think it's important to emphasize on it a little bit more, because funny enough, I was asked recently, why was I not considering to do things outside of what I'm doing, you know? And I said, well, you know, that's exactly what I'm doing, you know. And I understand that people don't see value sometimes in anything creative, you know, but the numbers speak for themselves, you know, and not necessarily my numbers. But if you're looking at how things have transitioned, Bree, what do you do? From the point, oh wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Respect Africa. Thank you very much, DJ. I appreciate that, my king. Thank you very much, yo. Appreciate it, donation indeed. That's right, family. That's the type of love we're talking about. Well, you see, my point being that if we are to really, really take in consideration the fact that being an artist is something that, an artist or creative for that matter, is something that is already super, 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 super complicated. It goes without saying. It's courageous, it's uncomfortable, and it really shakes up a lot of your basis. And so for this segment, I'm gonna keep it silent, because I think it's very important for me to emphasize on that and focus on the actual matter, because it's very, 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 very deep. You see, when this whole pandemic hit us, we had no choice but to, you know, reshape the way we do things, right? Spoke on that last week. And 20 years in, a whole business structure, a whole paradigm has been shaken on its basis. And oh, Papa Keisha, sponsor premier, mon coucou, trop de dollars, ça peut faire mal. Thank you, thanks a lot, Papa K, thank you. Oh la la. And so as you have to take in consideration, especially for me, 20 years in this thing, my whole business paradigm shaken by this whole COVID, and not only me, all of us. And so we're adding all these, you know, as I spoke on last week, different activities, and things take time to come to life. Things do take time to blossom, right? You know, just because you planted a seed doesn't mean that you're going to have the success you wish to see happening right away. It just doesn't work like that, you know. And so it's like, how do I go about making sure that I actually sorry, how do I make sure that I actually go about what I do with as much peace in my mind as I can. GB Jigo. Oh, GB Blacker. Zotizo. Freedom always comes at a price. You have to free yourself from your parents, your wife, your man, preconceived ideas, and even be yourself. To be totally free. I agree, and that's exactly the point, and as you do what you do, you always have in mind, especially um, someone like myself and certainly many of us, we've been raised to, really take in consideration the fact that we don't want to disappoint our parents. We want to make them proud. And if we choose to go about the artistic career, then we go about it in a way that is such that it will really bring the results that we want to see coming to life, so that the people that we love the most can be proud of us, and before anything, that we can be proud of ourselves. That's great. But then nothing happens overnight. So we're talking about long term. And the very people that want you to do other things on the side of what you're doing. For example, and by saying that, they mean well. A lot of the time they really are worried about you. And I had this conversation earlier today with Keisha. We were actually talking on that very topic actually. And it's like people do mean very well, and they want to make sure that they see you in a financial state that allows you to really afford the life that you want to live. The thing is that I've always learned to be content with what I have. Not saying that I don't see more and I don't want more, but I was very much comfortable in the most uncomfortable of spaces and times. I've learned to build that muscle. It's not easy. It stretches your mental capacities to quite a bit of uncomfortable space, but it helps you sustain the pressure a little bit more than most people. And so it's just interesting, and loving the process of what you're building is of utmost importance. Only time brings the answers. Well, we couldn't agree more on that one. And it's true. This is the thing. And it's like when you try to explain that, but that you do have your everyday, situations going on. You got to pay bills. You got to do this. You got to do that. And it's like, okay, how do I make ends meet? Because here I am posed with the complicated choice of sticking to what I do and really being stubborn about it, but also trying to provide for my well-being, pay my bills, making sure that rent is paid, etc., etc., etc. When I'm in a situation and in a world pandemic, in a global pandemic that's affecting businesses on all aspects, and yeah, you can get a little job, but you gotta. It's just not easy, right? And me, I'm a stubborn person. I'm very stubborn. When I'm decided to do something, I go for it, and I'm all in. Now, the problematic is that people and the people who love you the most usually won't really understand why you are being stubborn, why you are so focused. What do you see that I ain't seeing? Because I ain't seeing nothing from you doing these YouTube shows. I ain't seeing nothing from you doing these how do you call this, these talks and these lives and etc., etc. And I'm like, this is the thing, if everything you do is to see an instant gratification, which understandably so, when you got bills to pay, you got these kind of things to worry about, making sure that you can afford to pay them is of utmost importance. But well, I mean, if you manage to, keep your head above the water in times like these, it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? It means that you're doing something okay. And the thing is that because Rome was not built in one day, you have got to be patient with yourself and understand the process is a process, and there's nothing you can do about it but accept the fact that it takes resilience, it takes commitment and courage. And the reason why I want to talk about long term is because this is becoming the answer I'm giving. I'm going to give to more and more people asking me why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to give them the following: say it's long term vision. I've always said it, but I've always tried to argument it and try to, like, enhance it with some explanations and try to give people that I think I got to the point where I got tired of trying to explain myself. And it's so funny because very few people understand the mathematics behind what we're doing, the science behind what we're doing. This whole Monday quality talks, these quarantine grooves, etc., etc. It's not only um, content creation, but it's adding value to people's life by adding value to my own life, because doing these talks also is very helping. Not only for me, but I believe for all of you, because we get to open up about things, we get to speak. And yes, it's maybe a little bit impersonal because it's still via this tool that's very very much virtual, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful opportunity to express ourselves and talk about things that we hold close to heart, and just have intelligent, constructive, positive, and empowering conversations. That's what this is about, and it's also going out of your comfort zone. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm not sticking to being a musician and producing music, which obviously is what is my number one love, but you know I'm understanding the full spectrum of my capacities and the asset that represents all my skills, and those are assets that I need to be using for the best advantage and beneficial impact of the business I'm trying to build, of the brand that I'm trying to build, of the bigger picture that I see, right? So I would not give myself any justice if I just stuck to being a producer or a DJ. It's learning to do your own graphic designs. It's learning to do all and everything pretty much by yourself, right? And that's not pretending to know better. That's not pretending to be better than anyone, but that's just saying, look, I'm committed to making sure that I work and I invest everything I can and everything I have in what I do. I would like to say that I'm very much the proof of that. I'm the proof of that because everything that I've done in my career, in my life, has been a reflection of exactly and just that, believing, tremendously in myself. I remember the moment I became fully autonomous with my production. I didn't have the backing of some labels behind me at the time, because I decided that I wanted to really focus on building, the Boddhi Satva brand and the label and my own label offering recordings. It was already at that time very bold and a little bit looked at as audacious and contemptuous for some, and it even kind of felt as a treason for some, but it wasn't anything like that. For me, it was more like I'm trying to honor what I've been brought to this, realm to be, the best version of myself I can possibly be, and that will be by trials and tribulations, learning through trials and tribulations, but also understanding that if I don't focus on building this at that moment, nobody's going to do it for me. And so that doesn't mean that everything is perfect, but at least you give it in the time. But the problematic is that the big issue is that people around you, all they see dollar bills. They see the issue that comes with the fact that you're not necessarily, as banking as you should, or you probably used to. Because that's the funny thing. It's like when the money is flowing, abundantly, nobody's asking questions. When it gets a little bit, diminished because of, a global pandemic hitting everybody left and right, up and down, and most people are lying about their true realities, and those who are telling the truth and living the true life that they have, that's fantastic for them. And I think that's exactly what we're trying to achieve, is to get to that point where we can be stable and financially, comfortable enough to just go through a year or two or even three without working, but knowing that you've generated the efforts and spread your not spread yourself thin, but you spread yourself smartly enough, and through the network of your capacities and the vast array of your skills, you spread yourself enough to create different stream of incomes, so so that you can secure, you know, your future and the future of your loved ones. And so that's not easy because it requires, a creative mind. Even if you're hustling, not drugs obviously, but if you're in the business realm, proper business, and always on the hustle, on the grind, and trying to just make things happen. It's hard for people to perceive what you actually see, because not everyone has the vision of the end goal, because the obstacles are so many. There are so much that is so discouraging at times. And where most would have dropped the ball, you kept on. You delivered. You stayed focused. You stayed determined. You stayed on course. And that's what, for me, the long term is about, is staying focused and staying on course. Look, I don't have the inspiration all the time. I don't have the juice all the time. Right now, for example, I'm going through my set of personal challenges that are, related to the fact that, it's emotional, because, I mean, we are all dealing with this shit the way we're dealing with it, and I'm thankful that I have a strong mind, and I've built again, and I pride myself in that, because it it's remarkable that, I'm able to maintain that sanity, where I see many not able to do that. And not saying that I'm better than anyone, but I'm actually saddened by the fact that not many are able to do that. And I'm trying to see how I can empower those who don't feel that strength, those who decide that it's better to just give up because it's too hard, it's too difficult. But that's the very point. If you're alone and fighting all the time, and there's nothing else to do for you but to fight and to keep on fighting, either you're going to give up, and that's going to be a natural trait of you not being able to sustain the pressure, or you're going to have that natural, and it's, again, is it a natural skill? Is it acquired? We can debate on that, But I really feel like, as Respect Africa was just saying, love what you do what you love. True. But if you don't put in the work, and if you don't understand that the process to doing what you love and living off of what you love, and being comfortable off of what you love, knowing that there's many called and very few selected, knowing that there's many who try and very few who will succeed, it requires quite the resilience, quite the determination, and quite the consistent and constant, sense of shifting your balance at all time. Because by essence, being an entrepreneur, being an independent artist, and even major artists, actually, they're going through, to a different level, but at a different level, but we're going through it. But especially as the independent artists, you're constantly on very, very, very shallow waters, and so learning to keep your balance on shallow waters is a very complicated skill to acquire, but you can, by understanding the movements, by understanding the surprises that, can come along the way, with one or two waves that can hit you in a certain way and shake you off and even throw you off a little bit and maybe make you fall, as long as you pick yourself back up and you learn to have around you a system of a group of people, or a system in place that allows you to keep you afloat. Because indeed, we all have moments where we just like, yo, this is not possible. I cannot continue like that. I'm going to lose my damn mind, and I am losing my damn mind. And so you don't want to get to that point where you feel like things are just out of hand, and you're completely lost. You definitely don't want that to happen. So you've got to make sure that you really make space for people who, beyond wanting the best for you, will tell you what needs to be shifted about you. Or I wouldn't say change, because nobody really changed. People just decide to shift things around and make way for new sets of habits that will help them reach the goals or achieve what they want to achieve. And so by doing that, you will have the strength to go the extra mile, because you have that one friend, or that one person, or other, or more than one person that will be there for you, supporting you, and providing you this, this juice, right? This inspiration. You cannot achieve the goals you want to see coming to life if you do it all by yourself. It's not gonna fucking work. Look, man, to build a vision on the long term requires for you to surround yourself with and of people that have different skill set than yours. You're gonna need somebody who's gonna tell you no. You're gonna need somebody who's gonna tell you yes. You're gonna need somebody who's gonna say yes but no. You need all these kinds of people so that you can forge your own. If you lack at a certain point the perspective that is necessary, you need a set of people around you that will give you different sets of information, but information that are all to serve the one purpose that you set for yourself, which is the achievement of your goal. But for that, you will get information from people that don't understand a single word about what you're talking on, because it's not their world. They're not interested by it. If anything, they try to move you out of that. But that's where it's very important to have that mental flexibility, where you can just be able to listen to that one person who's going to tell you exactly how they feel about you, because first of all, they don't give a fuck. They don't care how big or how this or who you are. They don't give 2 cents of a shit about it. And that's vulgar what I'm saying, but it's actually very true. And this is gonna help you. Joel MM, yes indeed. Joel is saying, this is the 3rd time today I'm hearing this. You cannot build by yourself. It's true, man. And that's probably because, you need to hear it, and the universe is placing these words and these people, and eventually this conversation for you to be reminded that, yeah, all of us, man, we need to be reminded that. And that's why I find it so interesting when people are, people are so easy to close their doors on you when you actually need their help, and sometimes it's not about, and actually by half, I'm not saying like, I need you to borrow me some money or this or that. For example, that I've always hated to be put in a situation like that. And I've always made sure that I don't put myself in such a situation. Even though it happened, of course, at times, but I've always done everything and anything I could to avoid putting myself in such a position. And even if it meant, sometimes starving a little bit, not eating for a day or two and being proud, or 3, whatever. It's not even a question of being proud, but it's maybe a little bit of pride. But just there's certain positions I just couldn't put myself in. And I think that as a human being, it's understandable when you have a sense of pride, and many say, oh, pride is not a good thing, but believe me, it saves you quite a lot of shame sometimes, because it's funny. As you're building your long-term vision, you're gonna be faced with some serious challenges, where people will make fun of you, where people will actually belittle you, where people will talk down on you, where people will make you feel like you're less than who you are, and that your dream and your vision is vain, because you know what? Only fools can dream, and you are not supposed to be, you know, you're not supposed to be driven. Mountain of Inspiration, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, guys. Look, man, I've gone too far to allow anyone at this point in my very life to tell me otherwise. Look, what I'm doing, what I had to rebuild from zero pretty much, when this pandemic hit us. As I said last week in this previous conversation, I said, look, my whole business, my whole stream of income depended on shows pretty much, So I didn't quite care if, I was releasing much music or, I was obviously I started building my catalog a little, some years ago. But had I not done that, despite the fact that I was making the money from the shows, which was obviously nowhere near what some of my colleagues were making, guys that came much later after me. But, still I was able to make a humble living from the music, and be all right, actually. Had I not built this whole catalog of mine musically, be in the studio, follow some advisors. Obviously, Keisha was like, "Yo, man, you gotta make sure you produce at least a single a month." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's a lot of work." But I did it, and that's the thing for me. That's what I love about the people around me, is that they are giving me advices that I know are motivated by the fact that they want to see me shining and succeeding in what I do. Not saying that those who are around me, the family members, don't see that, but they just don't see it the same way. They don't know how to approach the topic or the conversation in a way that encourages or, even strengthen one's faith in doing what they're doing, even though it might be hard. But eventually there's one thing that's going to be making the difference. That one thing is the fact that you're stubborn and you have a vision. Nobody, but absolutely nobody can actually fight against that. Because you see, especially if you have the numbers to show. By numbers, I mean, for example, look at what I'm building here. When I started MQT, Monday Quality Talks, on YouTube, we were barely 5 people, and look, today 15 people. Well, that's not an absolute. Yesterday, I did Quarantine Grooves, and there was a total of 87 people who watched the show, which was much less than what I used to have, for example, on Sundays. So if you actually are one person who will look at these kind of things to be allowing yourself to get discouraged by the fact that there's that many or that less people, and you know what, maybe it's not worth it. What kind of stupidity is that? Nothing is built on a long term like that. Nothing, and you have got to have faith. You have got to be determined. You have got to want to go beyond. Who's calling me now? Oh my God. And that's some stuff. They put this thing on. Let me see. Anyway, yeah. So you can't allow yourself to be to be discouraged or to be demotivated and motivated by anything. You know what I mean? Especially if it's superficial and if it's not meant to be. Anyway, because look, what counts is not the numbers that people expect you to make overnight. Fuck all that. You need to be focused on the bigger picture. You see, I've had many accolades. I've had many moments where I felt like, oh my God, you know, I should you know, pop a bottle of champagne, which I don't really like champagne at all, as a matter of fact. And I didn't. Not saying that I wouldn't celebrate. I just always understood that, you know what, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Those are just, you know, moments along the way that allow me, obviously, to be comforted that what I'm doing is the right thing. But Keisha, all this good advice, you know, all I got in return was COVID. But hey, Luna, what chilling? Oh, this one, she's making noise left and right. No, you didn't get no COVID from me, bro. But yeah, so you see, again, I repeat myself, and I think it's very important. Don't look at those little moments of accolades. Don't look at, you know, for example, if you see, for example, that you are maybe on one live, you have like, you know, 300 people. That's fantastic. It's how are you maintaining the delivery, the quality of the product? Are you able to stay consistent? Because people do take for granted a lot of things. Even those who are advising you to just move out of what you've been building. And it's very funny because I found out to be so audacious as well. You know, when you've spent all these years doing something, building something on your own, obviously with the support of many, but pretty much on your own, because you are the one who has to have faith in yourself. You have to, you know what I mean? Beyond the fact that people may have faith in you, if you don't have faith in yourself, you're not gonna do much. You feel me? And so, you see, to be impressed and super excited over little wins all the time will quickly derail you from accomplishing, you know, what needs to be accomplished. I'm not saying that you should not appreciate moments of wins, of course, but until, you know, you get to the finals, you know, you still got a lot of work to do. And the thing is that until you get to the actual, you know, finals, you well, actually, by the time you get to the final is when you actually get that ultimate fight, right? And then you deliver that, and eventually you get the win. But a month or two after that, you gotta get right back into training. You know what I mean? Can't just. That's how are you expecting to be the best at what you do if every time you make a little progress, you know? As I said to you, for example, when I started MQT, I had like 5 people, you know, and now here we are. You know, there's probably going to be at least in total tonight an average of maybe 150 people who have watched the show. You know, if I was the kind of person to get excited over that, which obviously is exciting, I'm not saying that it's not, because it's amazing that 15 people, human beings, are willing to sit down in front of their screen or just have me in the background and listen to me talking about what I'm talking about. That's quite humbling, and therefore I'm endorsing my responsibility fully, which is to make sure that I do my best to give you something as true, as raw, and as informative and empowering as it can possibly be. So as we build on these long-term visions of ours, as we are, having to deal with people that we love and people that love us and people that want to see us doing more, doing better, doing bigger, this and that and the other, we cannot forget that allowing them to pressure us into doing what they want us to do is a disservice to our vision. For example, if I was to be with somebody, a woman that would tell me, look, this music thing is cool, but you got to do something else, I honestly would not continue the relationship with that person. Because this is what you've met me doing. This is what I will be doing until the day I die. And however, the levels of challenges and trials that I'm encountering, no matter how strong and how complicated things will be, I have proven to myself time and time again that at the end of the day, I'm still here and I'm making my small wins. At the end of the day. Greetings, Marco. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Skeisha says, consistency, determination, smart decisions, long-term vision, multiple goals with 1, 5, 10, 20 years milestones. Very much indeed. And as you notice, today I'm not necessarily talking about the strategy behind the long-term. Or so far, I haven't really touched on the strategy yet because I think that, and I know I don't want this to sound like a rant because I'm not renting, but I'm just pretty much making an observation on something that really feels more like I came to a point where I don't want to justify anything anymore, because that's exactly what Keisha just said. It's like, you have got to set your own little milestones. And believe me, sometimes I don't even know what the milestone is. You know what? I know that none of the things that I see are absolutely guaranteed. I know that for sure. But I also know for sure that if I don't do everything I can in my capacity and within the realm of business that I'm venturing in, which is the business of now creating content, outside of being a musician and a DJ and everything that I'm doing, if I don't do that, for sure I will not know what could have been transpired out of it. So again, sometimes you might take decisions that would lead you to hit a wall, and that's how you learn. And somebody around you may, somebody close to you would say, "Oh, I told you so." Well, fuck that. I have to make my own mistakes anyway. So it is what it is. But the "I told you so" sometimes, and a lot of the time, can also be very much wrong, because one's experience is not necessarily your experience. Even though 9 times out of 10, the "I told you so" will be right, there's always that 1% chance that they might be wrong. And the problem is that when you're having conversation with your family or people that care for you, your loved one or partner, whatever, and y'all, in a very comfortable and intimate setting, you're more inclined to receive whatever message they're going to give you. It's always going to be from that, yeah, but you know what? There's only 1% chance you'll succeed. So do you really want to risk that? And sometimes it's because you fail to take that risk, because you fail to just hold on. The bills are coming in, the this, the that is coming in, and you're getting pressure. Look, if one day I'm gonna share some stuff, but it's not the time yet. Believe me, the type of things that I had to endure. And that's prior to COVID. Oh man. That's why when COVID hit us, obviously it was a bummer. It still is a bummer, but I was very much well prepared for the type of challenges that COVID brings, that this whole COVID situation brought. I'm sorry. And that's not to say that, I'm completely proof against any of the challenges and all sorts of hurdles that I may encounter, but it's just to say that the muscle is there, and I'm not better than anyone. I'm not stronger than anyone. I just feel like one of the things that I've been good at is acknowledging when I was actually not strong, when I was actually acknowledging the fact that, fuck, I feel like I cannot do this. And I feel like I don't even know if I can actually do this. Look, if you want to know the truth, I may look like I got it all figured out and I got it all controlled and I'm all good all the time. But a lot of the time, I'm like a guy that I'm like someone that's about to enter the ring and get into serious fight, and I shit my pants. I'm literally not 100% comfortable. But I know that if I don't do it, I won't know what's next. You know what I mean? You gotta go through that, forest of despair. The as Keisha likes to call it, the black forest. It is what it is. You've got to go through it. You've got to see through it, and it's not fun. But thankfully, along the way, if you manage to have built around you a set of people that represent the core ones that allow you to, sort of like bounce off of whenever you're losing balance, then you can get through it. You can get through it, and eventually, if you don't allow people's insecurities, if you don't allow people's, as you just said here, okay, people's fears to interfere with your mission, with your goal, ultimately you will see a win. And actually, that's something mathematical. It's science based. Like, if you really want something, you have got to want it and let it be. You know, it's such a silly example, but it applies even for relationship. For example, if you're with somebody or you want to be with somebody, but you show them too much that you want them, 9 times out of 10 they won't even be they won't even be yours. They won't even be interested. But and that doesn't mean just because and for example, now if you apply this science, which is like, you know what, I showed you that I'm interested, and you know what, I'm available, I'm ready for something, but so good. Now you're giving that person the choice, but you're also showing that person that you're not phased, or you're not, basically you're in your own balance and you're good, and you're feeling all right. You're not shaken by anything. That's very destabilizing and intriguing. And so automatically, or not, but if that person is somehow stimulated by you as well, that may, trigger a sense of like, oh damn, what's up with that one? You know what I mean? And the same goes, I think, and I believe, with your chance and with the goals that you've set to see, unfolding in your life. Bringing the fruits that you want to eat and to enjoy. Is wanting it, working for it, towards it, but being open for every and any eventuality. So you set forth a series of actions, of sequences that are kind of like lures. You know what I mean? You're tricking it. It's like, it's cool. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, and it's true, actually. If it doesn't happen, you're cool. You keep moving. Life goes on. But if you're 100% certain and affirmed in your vision that you will see through and you will make this happen one way or the damn other, believe me, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I will give you one example why I don't really listen to many people telling me to not do what I'm doing or to stop doing what I'm doing sometimes or to just do something else. Not stop, but you know what? You can put it on hold. Like it's something that I can just put on hold for 1 year and be fine. Like if I put everything that I'm doing now on hold for a year, it's gone. I mean, pretty much. You know, that's like, I mean, you can't take away 20 years of career, but all this hard work would have been gone to waste. What for? You know what I mean? Especially when I see the results and it's steady, but it's growing. And all of you, ladies and gentlemen, queens and kings, allowing me to really see through this vision. And we're building all this together. You know what I mean? Because, you know, 10 years from now, 5, 10, 20 years from now, we will look back and be like, damn, look at all this. You know what I mean? It takes a village to raise a child. That's exactly what it is. It takes the multitude of people who really want the best for one another, or for one another, to raise one another. It is because you like somebody, the likability of someone and the trustability of someone, that you want to support that someone. You know what I mean? And that you also want to break that someone as well. You know, it's very interesting. It's very funny, mixed thingy. But you see, to the point I was trying to make, and I think I spoke on that. I don't know when, but I did speak on that some time ago. When my father passed away, I decided that I was going to make my first €1,000,000 just about in 2 years after his passing or something like that. I didn't, but interestingly enough, I haven't managed to do that yet. But you know, in the process of it, I've started to see unfolding on my journey encounters with some of the wealthiest people in the world. And I saw that as a sign that this doesn't mean that I'm not going to get what I had envisioned. By $1,000,000, it was a symbol. It's not, obviously you want to aim for super high, but at the same time, you want to stay kind of humble with your expectation. But you know, I've always been a dreamer, and I didn't quite care what someone else would think about my dream, and if they were too crazy to this, that's none of my concern. But I was seeing that as a confirmation from the universe, from God, from the creation, that I was being a creator of my reality, and I was being put on my journey, these people, to affirm and confirm to me one thing, is that I'm doing the right thing. Had it not been for the music, had it not been for what I'm doing, I would have not met half or a quarter or a tenth or a fifth or a third of those I have been blessed to cross paths with. So I owe everything to the music. Music is my life. And this long-term vision that I've been building for the past 20 years, you see, it's 20 years. And as I literally on the 18th anniversary of my career, the 19th celebration of my career last year in 2020, I have to reshift, step back to zero. Kind of. Yeah, pretty much. I didn't give up, and I'm not planning to give up. I didn't feel like, oh fuck, this is so unfair, 20 years and this is all I'm getting. No, it's cool. I've had 20 years to build a muscle, to build a set of muscles, to build a set of capacities, of skills to prepare me for this moment, which allows me to not be worried. Well, of course, I am worried, just like any human beings. I have my everyday worries and stuff, but to not be phased, because there's 20 more years that I'm being prepared for right now and that I'm building for. and that will bring their own sets of challenges, but I will be ready for them. And what I am building is an empire. An empire is not built overnight and is not built, just by the will alone. Blood, tears, and sweat build that freaking empire. And yes, my mother's talking about life is a lesson. Yes, we did. My mother sang on the track called "Life is a Lesson." Yes, indeed. And it's definitely ambushed with a lot of painful moments. And God knows, my mother is one of those very resilient souls, man. I have to definitely pay homage to her on that, and my dad as well. But my mother has been quite the inspiration when it comes to maintaining courage. Mountain of inspiration. You're on the right path. You're already a success story. Keep up. Awesome work. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. Marcos Capelli might not come when you want it, but it's right on time. Absolutely. I believe that, And that's why I tell people, I said, look, I'm so thankful that I have this long-term muscle in me, because it's like I'm not expecting instantaneous results, because whenever I get that, I'm like, But I'm all for long-term results. I'm painfully patient. You know what I mean? Most people don't have my kind of patience, and I pride myself in that. I have to honestly say, because most would have given up, as I was talking about resilience, I think that, talking about my mother, here you go. Here you talk about somebody who's worked with some of the biggest legends in the fashion world. I mean, I spoke on that quickly last week. But, here's somebody who's worked personally with Gianfranco Ferri, with Yves Saint Laurent, with Jean-Paul Gaultier, with John Galliano. I mean, and somebody who's done so much for other people as well. She hired so many people when she was doing this business of bovine horns based jewelry. She was unique. Nobody had done the things that she's done. She actually inspired a whole generation. This whole tribal look and this whole fish. She was the first to bring the type of creations she created in the haute couture business when she did it. And obviously, unfortunately, they never trademarked what they were doing. But my mother is somebody that has done a lot for the fashion world, but never really been acknowledged for the things that she's brought forth and she contributed to. But she always been very humble. And even though I'm pretty sure she felt hurt, she felt hurt by this kind of disgrace, and how people kind of like stolen her ideas and did what it did, and eventually leading her to be just completely disgusted by the business and stop and willing to stop working in it. Marcus Bell, Orlando, Florida, representing. Yes, indeed. Welcome. Thank you very much, yo. Hope you're good. Yes, indeed. God bless the Queen. Thank you, family. So I see this woman, my mother, as a very strong source of inspiration, because as most of our mothers, mothers go through a lot. From losing my older brother, who died in 1991 in Bangui. So that's a lot. That's a lot. I do what I do because I have examples before me, such as her, who've been so determined, so committed to her vision, and she saw through it. When she went and got introduced to Yves Saint Laurent, People, the amount of naysayers, nobody knew she was going to do what she did for the fashion industry, but she was never acknowledged as such, as a matter of fact. But I do believe that just for the sake of placing, as we say in French, mettre l'église sur la place du village, which is, setting the record straight. I do hope that, and I am certain that I will be able to achieve just that, for her. And, she just turned 72 years old, and she's as healthy as it gets. And she's a true inspiration in that, if you're determined, you will achieve what you want to see coming to fruition in your life. And I think that if we really look around us, we have many examples like that. So we have no right to not believe in ourselves, and we have no right to not want to fight through those moments where we just feel like, yo, this, debt this, collectors that, mail this, boom that, tax this. Look, truth is, all these things are indeed true matters, true problems, but they are distractions. They are reminders, of course, that you shouldn't be. And what I'm saying is not about living in your world in a in a cloud of hope. No, it's about being resilient and working super hard. But it's obviously not letting these issues that come with building a long-term vision. A long-term vision means that you're not gonna have quick wins, because when you're gonna reach that point, you're gonna have to set a set of new goals to keep you motivated. Because somebody like me, I need challenges all the time. And the challenge that I've embarked myself on is one that is such that, yeah, I can't be distracted by none of these things. No matter how hard it gets. All these things have helped me and taught me, especially this whole COVID, and I believe it's done that for all of us. It taught me to be so resilient, be so determined. It taught me to be flexible and to welcome change at all time. It allowed me to build, as you just said, Marco Scarpelli. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Marcus. Thank you. It allowed me to build and really connect with y'all. I mean, building with a new set of musical family members, you know what I mean? And expanding my reach to houses and homes and encountering beautiful people, you know what I mean? And I think that I said this with a little bit of emotion because, we do need all of us, we do need one another, we may not know each other, we may not share the same skin color, we may not share the same beliefs, we don't share the same, genders or sexual preferences or whatever the case may be. But the truth is that we do need one another. We do need one another, and we do need to honor those who choose not to go the easy route. Because you know what? We may not understand everything. We may not understand why they're choosing what they're choosing. You may not understand why somebody would be okay dealing with not having food for 2-3 days because they're building their long-term vision, when they could actually get something that's going to be a quick fix and allow them to eat okay and probably all right daily. But unless you have something that you're fighting for, that you're building for, you won't understand it. But try to respect it, And as I always say, when you ask people if they're doing okay, make sure you really want to hear the answer And don't just ask because it's a social requirement to ask someone how they're doing when you actually don't really care. I think it's very important to, especially now, even more now than ever, to make sure that we take a moment and we ask those around us. And I've said it before and I'll repeat it again. How are you doing? You know? And those around us is sometimes even family. You know, as family members, we have a tendency to tell each other, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good." And we shrug it off like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool." You don't ask for more. Are you sure you're good? Now hold on. You say you're good, but and if you scratch a little more, you'll realize that something is off. Make space for people to express themselves. Try not to judge them. Try to listen. Bring in your 2 cents where we can bring them, but then at the same time, let people be what they want to be and support them in being what they wish to be. You know, it's easier said than done, I know. But then, you know, I have to say that as much as I love my family, as much as I love, you know, love them all, but I've grown used to having to deal with a lot of things by myself, and to build this thing the way I built it. And thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. And talking about the achievement in honor to my parents and my mother, obviously. And by doing exactly that, I made her and my late father very proud. And I'm proud of myself. But the fight is still going on. You know, until we take our last breath, we can't permit ourselves to give up on nourishing the hope, on nourishing the faith and the vision we have for ourselves. And even if we achieve what we wanted, we're still gonna have to find and build things that will allow us to look forward to new challenges. You know what I mean? Marcus, listen to him, people understand what he is saying. That he's not just yeah, no, it's true, man. It's true. Obviously, no, but I mean, and thank you for joining us, Marcus, and welcome to the Boddhi gang and the Shadow gang. It's true. I mean, all of us here, that's what it is about. You know, we're here for that, man. We're here to empower one another, and you know, I'm just so blessed and fortunate to have this mean of communication to just share some of my personal words, and again, I thank you all for your beautiful presences, and you know, I think it's very important again to just have faith in what we do. That's all I'm saying, and you know, do what you need to be doing in order to maintain that faith. You're gonna have moments where you have doubts. And as this song is actually called Slow Down, sometimes you need to slow down. You know, slow down, it's okay. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to chill a little bit and to just, yeah, what am I doing? Okay. All right, it's gonna be fine. As I said, 9 times out of 10, I don't have the answers. I just know that I have a goal. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know I'm determined to get there. How? We will see as we go. Oh, but hold on, my man. If you're looking for security, this is not for you. But if there's one thing that is certain, the rewards are so great and marvelous. It's just worth all the tears and all the sweat and all the blood that got poured along the way. So yeah, Monday Quality Talks family, long term, that's what it is. It's knowing in your heart when people doubt you the most, When nobody sees it is when you actually see it. And sometimes it's to a certain freaking extreme because it's like, how the hell is this brother or this sister seeing this shit? Because I don't see it. Whatever you see, I don't see. It's like, it's fine. Follow me or don't. It's fine. You will see. No, there's no way. We shall see. Me. The type of faith I have, the type of determined mind I have. I give thanks to the creation for having graced me with that, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I really, really urge you and motivate those of you who may not necessarily have it or still need to maybe build it a little bit. Do not hesitate a second. It's worth it. It's really worth it because it allows you to take in quite the pressure. And sometimes, you need to put a knee on the floor, breathe in, and then pick yourself back up. I firmly believe in long term, as you obviously have probably gathered by now. And I firmly believe that, just because something is not obvious to you right now, doesn't mean that it's not valuable. And that applies to anything and everything in life. So, yeah, man. Yes, indeed. Papa K, time has the answers. No, and again, it's such a beautiful journey. As I said, please, let's enjoy the process. The process is beautiful. It's a pain in the ass, but God knows when you get the rewards. Hey, you do enjoy these fruits like nothing else. Oh my God, it's like, it's like it's like you hiking and you've been thirsty for quite some time, and then you just get that first sip of water, and it just feels like the best thing in the world. That moment, that very moment, that reward is exactly the type of thing that the type of high, I guess, the long-termist is looking for. Is that, oh my God, you put yourself to these extensive levels. I mean, it's not, you don't even put yourself because you're not choosing the easy route. Life just comes at you like, but yo, you took in so many punches, you're prepared for anything. And so yeah, whenever there's a moment of just solace, you take every bit of it with absolute gratitude. And yeah, so that's my motto. So man, let's just hope that we are blessed with just more life, because as much as I'm not scared of death, I do have to say that having had a close encounter with it when I got COVID because of Keisha last year. You see this guy, thought he was a brother, but anyway, you see him, tell him for me. Since he accuses me all the time of giving him COVID, it's my turn to accuse him as well. Anyway, so having had a close encounter with, the potentiality of losing my life to this terrible virus, yeah, man, it made me even more appreciate the process, and it made me want to go even more towards the essential and start, wasting time with things that are not necessarily relevant or important. Marcus, you say a prophet always shows things that people cannot see, but he's always saying, yeah, it's true. Yeah, absolutely, brother, absolutely, it's so true. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself a prophet, but I do appreciate the idea of visionaries, and I think that that's what I am. I've always had faith in what I do, and I'm 100% with you on that. Esha, it's not a blatant lie. You are the one who's colporting information's actually fake news. about me giving you COVID. My man. Hey, hey. You see, that's how we do as people. My God. Anyway, no, so yeah, man, look, I appreciate you all, man. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you watching right now and those who will watch the replay and so on. It's like, you know, this is here to stay and this is here to inspire others after me or whatever the case may be. This is just my humble experience and again, I haven't even tapped into the depth of everything because there's a moment for everything and there's certain things I can't share right now because it's not the right time. But in due time I will, and when I will, you will be like, yeah, you'll be like, wow, okay, this makes sense. Or damn, I didn't expect that. But let's allow things to unfold when they're supposed to be. And uh, oh, well, look at you, Keisha. Look at you. Look at you. It's absolutely untrue, as a matter of fact. It couldn't have, it could have not, it couldn't even be more ridiculous what you're saying because there was none of that conversation at the time anyway. So all I can tell you is that most definitely we have caught this COVID during the birthday of your daughter. That's all I know to be the truth. But it's fine. We can debate on that. Actually, we should actually have a conversation, you and I, where we actually debate exactly frame by frame. Or it could be during the video clip of Peggy when we did that video clip here at the house. Probably. But anyway, we're thankful because we went through this shit together and we came out of it together. So companions of misfortune and fortune as well. So we give thanks. And yeah, man, Marcus, thank you very much, brother. I truly appreciate the words and as I said, your family. If you enjoy this content, make sure you press a like. And I see quite a few really beautiful. Thank you all so very much. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do press the bell so that you can be informed because there is content being posted here on the regular. I know I haven't been posting last week as much because I've just been overwhelmed with work, studio work. But this week I will be posting some of the highlights for the past quarantine grooves, and obviously for this show as well. What should I add? Oh yes, feel free to go to the website boddhi-satva.com and get you some merch. Don't hesitate, of course. That will be most appreciated. And if you haven't, done that just yet, some donations, PayPal, you can use the cryptocurrencies as well. We take it all. Or as the good brother Papa Keisha and DJ Respect Africa did earlier, graced me with some super chats. It does help the show. It does help everything that is being done, and it's obviously, always appreciate it. With that being said, family, if you guys, will allow me to, wish you all and send you all nothing but love, gratitude, and blessings, and thank you for making the time to listen to this conversation on long-term visions and the process and believing in what most would have not and would never necessarily believe in until they actually see things for them to hold on to. She showed you things. She showed you how to do things in one room. Now you are you're blessing. Yeah. Well, it's I mean, I don't know if you see, this is a very hard answer to give because my ego is not stimulated by things like that. But I do have to say that I feel like I am honoring a mission, which is to make sure that beyond just the music that I'm creating and beyond, honoring the gift of my musicianship, I'm also using my gift of being able to speak and convey information and hopefully inspire by using this means. So knowing that it impacts, people in a positive way is obviously super humbling. But it's not something that is like, oh my God, it feels so amazing. And it's like, it feels amazing. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. And beyond that, beyond the fact that it feels great to know that you're impacting people positively, it is also, reassuring that, okay, it's good. But it's not something that I'm taking as, again, it's granted and yeah, it's all good. And it's a very humbling feeling in short. So yeah, fam. Well, yo, once again, I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Marcus, thank you very much. Emmanuel, thank you. Eliana, appreciate you tuning in. Marco, thank you very much. Mountain of Inspiration, thank you as well. Master Electronic, most appreciated. My mother, Vivian, thank you very much for being as well with us. But she probably went to hit the sack already. Dalia, thank you. DJ Respect Africa, thank you very much, brother, for your donations. Papa Kesha, sponsor premier Mukulu Kuku, Mignon de Mignon. Thank you so much, Sister Bree. Thank you as well very much for tuning in. Itatmi Jibi, Singila Mingi Frangin, merci beaucoup. Joël, merci à toi. Merci. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. And those of you who have been watching and were not seeing the comments, well, thank you as well. Let me bid you all wish you a good night and good afternoon wherever you're located in the world. And yeah, man, thanks for tuning in. Share the show if you liked it. And if you have not watched the previous shows, well, make sure you do that. MQT 17 is done and over with for today. Come back this week, Friday, for Quarantine Grooves. I was thinking of doing Wednesday confinement talks, but I'm trying to get some of the guests that I want to get, but everybody's super busy. But hopefully I'll be able to get them. I'll see, but if I'll be posting anyway if it's going on. Vraiment Bapuli stepping, Papa K. Make sure, if you haven't done that yet as well, make sure you follow Keisha's YouTube channel. My brother K has an amazing show, and obviously content that is being posted on this channel that is worth your time, and really beautiful bi-weekly show on Wednesdays and Sundays. So make sure you go check him out as well. Subscribe to his channel. And oh yeah, Marcus Boyson. I'm a DJ myself, and I speak through my music and love deep house music and Afro house. It is the soul to the heartbeat, and every soul needs every soul needs. Thank you very much. You're very right, man. You're very right, yo. You're very right. And yeah, man, let's keep on spreading this beautiful music that we love so much. On this words, family, sayonara.